Hey, Tom Rabbit! I hope you got this for your recording. Hey, YouTube out there. Tom Rabbit likes to record these. Hey, Tom Rabbit!
I have a feeling. He's not gonna get mad at me. That's just my. I could be wrong, but Jack says there's no way, and you seem very confident he's gonna be mad at me.
They're still in a sort of headspace where it's like not actually real yet.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's interesting to see what's gonna happen, but I mean,
what do you mean it's possible, John? You heard Darth himself. He says, "Why should I believe you? Send me the recording." The other thing he says, I doubt John Lee would say that. Right? What do you mean? You suppose? Like, of course this is not real yet.
I think he also said something somewhere in there. Even if John Lee said that, then whatever he said.
Yeah, but that's bullshit.
Tom, I think that's what's going to make it worse for Darth and make him more mad is that you added Darth in there saying that he doesn't think it's true. It makes Darth look kind of stupid when you then provide the proof.
Well, he also seems to get really upset about accusations of racism. There's a recent example of that somewhere. So hearing John say it is probably going to piss him off a lot.
I mean, maybe it's an opportunity for personal introspection. How about that? That's kind of how I look at things.
It's an opportunity for Darth.
Yes.
Yeah, you think he's got what kind of history do you think he has of taking people up on their on these opportunities for introspection?
I think sometimes they matter because I will say that, I've been watching Darth kind of on and off for months, right? The first several months, I almost heard nothing of Jesus. I think someone had mentioned something to him. I'm not sure, but in the last 2 months, I would say, almost every day I hear about Jesus. And so
that's actually a good point. Yeah, I think he did take that feedback, and he's definitely altered. I'll agree with you on that, John. I'll give you that.
So maybe he won't be making jokes anymore. I mean, maybe he will be self-aware.
You know what? You convinced. You actually no, like no joke. I think if that's what you mean, yeah, it's quite possible he might alter his behavior.
Jack, what do you think Darth will do?
I think he's going to hit the roof.
But do you think he might also have a desire to not give Tom what he wants? And
I don't think he'll be able to help himself.
Wow.
Yeah, he blocked my sock. I can't get in.
Can we get a volunteer to go into Darth's room and let him know about the video?
James is tired. Just messaged me to say he's going in there.
Nice. Will you tell him to tell him?
Yeah, I'll ask him.
Oh my God, John, you know why James is tired of doing that, right?
Oh, he's so petty. Love it.
You guys don't know James like I know James.
Well, I'm gonna go listen.
Yes, Rabbit. Go ahead, Rabbit.
I'm in the Tom Rabbit room and I'm listening to the atheist and John Lee go back and forth. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but John Lee's been spreading rumors about me. And apparently he's in the atheist rooms, and now there's a video on Tom Rabbit of him telling everybody you hate black people.
Wait a minute. Who's saying that I hate black people?
John Lee, the same guy who spread rumors about me.
Wow, that's shocking that he says I hate black people. What rumors is he spreading about you?
So back before I was a Christian, I identified as being bisexual. I don't anymore, but what John Lee told people was that in my marriage, that I potentially have stepped outside of my marriage with a man. He's told people that I used to get dressed up in makeup and go to special parties. And he's since walked a lot of this back, but it's just the problem that he consistently wants to mention people. And when I was in the other room and they played that...
Okay, so what you're saying is he is making slanderous and defamatory and unfounded accusations about you.
Yes. And in this case, he's got, I think they even published it on Tom Rabbit, like 5 to 6 minutes of him just going off about how you're racist, you hate black people, you wouldn't want your daughter to marry a black man, and all kinds of stuff.
Do you have a link and a timestamp to where he says that?
I'll be back in a little bit,
It's
guys.
the most recent video. I think Tom said he was releasing it as they were, because they played it for us in the other room. I was shocked because he was like, even the atheists didn't say that you wouldn't want her to marry a black man, but he kept doubling down that no matter any circumstance that you would not want that to happen.
It wouldn't bother me at all if one of my children married somebody who was not, white. What would bother me is if the person was I considered to be a lowlife. Okay.
So the video is
look, these people this is how desperate these people are, that they have to repeat these rumors, that these slanderous accusations that I'm racist, which I'm not.
Okay, I found the video being referred to on Tom Rabbit's channel.
Can you send me the link or the timestamp?
I'm about to DM you. Okay, it's only 6 minutes long.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Darth, I tend to think that what John Lee's been doing is damage control, because he says the most stupidest things and then they get put on the internet, and I think he's lashing out. He's trying to take the attention off of himself. Alrighty, so in this video that I'm about to put up to the top, it is John Lee, and we know that John Lee says a lot of crazy, outrageous things, and you'll find them in their complete entirety, 6 to 7 minutes, sometimes longer, of him doubling down and justifying stupidity.
Later that same evening.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but
Yeah.
Darth's made a room about John.
Oh shit!
Oh, did he really?
Someone, please, someone go in there who's not blocked. What is the title?
Darth Dawkins' derangement syndrome infecting Christians.
Affecting Christians. Wow.
That would be you.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
So Darth, I take it that you watched that crap John Lee said about you.
I did, and I'm just appalled that he has succumbed to such, vicious and slanderous accusations. But it is what it is. It's the internet. Okay? I mean, the slanderous and the defamatory conjecture is appalling, even coming out of John's mouth. Okay. I mean, he wouldn't even dare say something that was a quarter of the slanderous amount about unbelievers. But you know what? He's one of these people who himself and several other believers that I run into on Clubhouse that are constantly sucking up and being obsequious to what are well-known, unbelieving trolls on Clubhouse. And the question is, why do they continue to add fuel to the fire of this trollery? It baffles me.
One thing that just shocks me is that John Lee is, I didn't think he was an idiot, but I'm beginning to lean towards him being an idiot. He's in a room where he knows that things are being recorded, and yet he wants to speculate and give his opinions on other people, and he doesn't have any founding.
He's here. Come on up, John.
That's the John Lee alt. That's a guy who is.
Oh, that's the impersonator. Oh, okay. So we'll expunge him from the room. So you're telling me that's not John Lee?
No, John Lee said that he's blocked, or maybe if you're unblock him, maybe we can get him in the room and he can.
I could get John Lee in here if you would like me to, Darth. It's whatever you want.
Well, yeah, I want to know. Is he Is he sick? Is he feverish that he would make such defamatory statements about me? I just think it's bizarre.
I'll see if I'll go
Let,
in the other room.
let me
See if
see. Let me see if I have him blocked. Okay.
Hey, John.
So let's see.
John
Let me
Lee.
see if I can.
Darth wants you to come in. He's ready to have a conversation.
Meanwhile, at the Legion of Doom.
Maybe that's why he's making slanderous statements. I have sharply criticized him for being an awful moderator and capitulating to atheists, and So let's see. Let me see if I can find his account.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll come in. He did like a half-hearted apology to me, and then he decided to still talk about it and then say he was justified in saying it. And even after this, I heard in the room earlier, he was still trying to justify his thoughts and his statements that he made about you.
There's a number of people who impersonate him. So if you could find his profile and send me a link so I can see if I have him blocked or not.
I'll do that now for you.
Because he needs to explain himself why he would make such vicious, slanderous remarks about me.
He's in the room now.
What did he say?
I don't have him blocked. Well, he basically was impugning me as being racist.
Racist?
Yeah.
I've talked to you and heard you talk so many times over a long period of time. I've never, ever heard you say anything that would hint at racism. In fact, I would think that you'd be the exact opposite of that. So I'm really kind of curious about that one.
Well, given the fact that Darth has done many times, I have been present in the conversation and talked about being judged by the content of character, not the color of one's skin. I would reach the conclusion that he's not racist. And my hypothesis about a lot of this stuff in the people suffering from derangement syndrome stems directly from they can't handle the focus that you get from atheists. That's just my theory. But
well, John, I listened to that recording. Why would you make such defamatory statements about me?
Well, it was not my intention to defame you, but it was my intention.
It sure came across like that.
Yeah, I can understand if you think that, but it was my intention to. There was a series of clips that were provided to me, and I just had my own perspective based upon my own experiences, and so some couple hypotheticals were asked, and
well, I'm not hearing a clear answer to my question. I'm getting obfuscation in response that you made what I consider to be defamatory remarks, impugning that I'm a racist against black people, based upon what?
Just based upon what seemed, quite frankly, clear to me.
Okay, that's a non-informative response, and that's the second time you've been evasive. Now, for you to call a fellow apologist pretty much impugn that I'm racist, I mean, based upon what? Because I have the slanderous atheists making these false charges, and they're reckless. And are you reckless too, or is there a basis that you can cite something that I've said that I'm racist?
I mean, I could probably plead guilty of being maybe impetuous, but I do have. I mean, I'm a minority, Darth, and I have a whole lifetime of experience with racism.
You're not answering my question, John.
I thought I was.
You're being evasive. You impugned me pretty much of being a racist against black people. Based upon what?
Based upon my recognition of racism,
John, that's the third time.
The subjective view.
John, that's the third time you've purposely given a non-informative, non-substance response. Okay? So, are you going to answer the question?
I thought I was answering it, Darth. I mean,
no, you have systematically dodged the question 3 times. Now, when you impugn a fellow believer, and in this case it's me, of pretty much being a racist, then either you're just reckless and slanderous, or you have in your mind some substantive basis to make that those slanderous remarks. What do you base it on, John?
On your comments themselves.
John, that's the 4th time you've given a non-informative answer. What have I ever said that a reasonable person would conclude that I'm a racist? Or are you hanging around Tom Rabbit, that internet troll? You ever heard the phrase "bad company corrupts good morals"?
Yes, I've heard that before.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for you to give a substantive explanation for what I consider slanderous remarks.
Well, you're aware of, Veckel, right, Darth?
John, can you answer my question, please?
I'm trying to answer your question. And so there was a situation where a lot of recordings were played, and I was just a part of the audience, and I think it was Tim No Regrets was there as well in the recording, and they were talking about the riots and things like the looting that happened after George Floyd, and certain comments about the Father's Day cards were left there, suntan lotion was not taken.
Yeah, I did make those statements.
Now, it did seem like they were funny to you.
Did you hear me make those statements?
No, but I think you had made
you're
comment.
impugning me. You're impugning me.
Not just on that.
Okay. Now, in that conversation, they were talking about the thugs and the criminals that were breaking into the stores. Okay. Did any of the participants specify that these people were black? Because I don't recall that they did.
I mean, are you really going to plead ignorance as to suntan lotion and Father's Day cards?
Well, I wasn't the one who made that statement, but the original remarks were that people were rioting and breaking into these stores and looting the stores. That was the original context. Now, if somebody subsequently later on made some derogatory remark, did I make that remark?
Would you at least agree it's racist?
Did I make that remark?
I think, as my recollection was, that you participated in the discussion, perhaps possibly laughed.
Yeah, I was in a conversation about, we were commenting about the thugs that broke in, and several people jumped in and chimed in and made remarks. So you're going to impugn me as a racist because somebody else may have made a remark?
I wouldn't do that, for especially a remark that
Okay,
you did.
John.
I'm talking about remarks that you personally have made.
So, John, for the 5th time, can you give me a substantive basis by which you can impugn me in a slanderous way of being a racist?
I've heard a lot of recordings, and I understand they're collected over a period of a long time.
I'm still waiting for you to give me a substantive accounting, John. Because I'm telling you, can you tell that I'm upset with you?
Yes, I can tell.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
so
John, if you heard people say this about him, that's called gossip. You're obligated then to go straight to Darth here and ask him specifically. If you don't, then you're caught being part of the problem. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. In that case, Matt, I would agree.
Is there a substantive basis that you can articulate with specificity by which you can legitimately impugn me of being racist?
I mean, just the body of comments that I've heard. I mean, I've heard you talk about
So
MLK
for the
personally
sixth
as well.
time, you're obfuscating.
I just literally, I mean, everything I say, you seemed unsatisfied. I mentioned MLK.
I'm unsatisfied because
Mhm.
you're giving an unsatisfactory accounting of your unjustified impugning of me, John.
But it's unsatisfactory to you, right?
That is
I do
correct,
have.
John.
Yes, I
Did I
do
say it was
have.
unsatisfactory to anybody else?
That's correct. And so it seems
Yeah,
like I'm.
John.
You
So
seems
for a
like.
sixth time, can you
Mhm.
please, with specificity, tell me what your legitimate and substantive basis is to impugn me as being a racist?
Yeah, it's just the sheer number of comments that I've heard.
Okay, so you're gonna be a broken record
I
again.
can go into specifics if you allow me.
Wait a
I
minute.
mentioned
I've been asking
MLK.
you over and what do you mean if I allow you? I have been asking you 6 times now to give a substantive accounting, and so far you haven't.
Sometimes, Darth, like when a person hears various comments, and I'm not talking
Like
about just
what?
no grit. Well, like I've heard comments about like MLK before, and
What did
I
I say
understand.
about MLK that would substantively indicate that I was a racist?
Um, just about his character, his
Okay, was MLK of good character?
well, it depends on like if you're talking about his personal lives, his infidelities, maybe
Was he a man?
his
Was
political
Martin Luther
views.
King? Was Martin Luther King historically, not popularly, but historically, based upon what we do know from eyewitnesses who were friends of his, was he a man of good character?
Well, I mean, all of us have flaws, right?
John,
I mean, I've
why are
heard
you
you
being
mention
evasive?
things about Billy Graham as well.
Are you aware that MLK was a serial adulterer and womanizer?
Yes, I am aware.
Are you aware that he would frequently have drunken orgies?
That I'm not aware.
Yeah, he did. The FBI had surveillance of this. Okay? Now, are you also aware that he was pretty much either a communist sympathizer or a closet communist? This is
Right.
well known. This is
Yes, I'm
well
aware of
known
that.
historically. Do you know that there are reasonable accounts that he may have been siphoning money off of the Christian organization in name that he was involved with? Are you aware that he was also active in bisexual actions?
Right. I mean,
Now, how do any of those type of accusations, how does that make me a racist if I bring this up in a conversation that in spite of the media popular misrepresentation of him, that he was not a person of good character? How does that make me a racist?
right. Okay. With regard to the various comments, like I understand that you're very critical of certain figures, like
Can you answer
Billy
the
Graham would
question
be
about
one.
Can you answer the question
I
instead
mean,
of
will you even allow me
evading?
to?
Can you? No, I'm
Yeah,
cutting you off
yes, you
because
are.
you are doing what atheists do. You are evading the question.
Well, I
I
mean, we
asked
could either
you
have a
how,
conversation or you can interrogate me. I feel
John,
interrogated, Darth.
John. If
Are
you're
you going to
going to
acknowledge
make
that? That I feel interrogated? I came here.
defamatory statements, then you need to be held to account. Now,
I don't
what
mind.
did I
That's why I'm here.
say about MLK that was racist?
I mean, you could either hear me out or not, Darth. It's as simple as
John,
that.
I'll repeat the question again that you are
Well, I'm
systematically
telling you,
dodging.
Darth, I'm going to repeat my statement again. You could either hear me out
John,
or
I'll repeat the
conduct an
question again.
interrogation.
Do you want to continue to act like the atheists do? Because that's
No, I'm
exactly how
trying.
you're conducting yourself.
Well, that's your opinion as well, right?
And whose opinion did you think that I might think it was? Of
Yes,
course, it's
and
my
then
opinion.
also with
John,
regard to
I'll
what I
ask you again,
characterize
and
was
then
my
I'll shut up.
opinion, I would
John,
love to tell you
what did I
why, if you allow
say?
me.
John, what did I say about MLK that justifies your charge of racism?
It was just the sense in which I heard it.
John,
Okay,
what did I
sometimes
say
it's not
about
actual
MLK?
words. Sometimes it's inflections of tones. Sometimes it's attitudes.
John, what did I say about
This is
MLK
Mhm.
that would lead to a substantive charge?
Sometimes it's not even actual words. Now
So
I'm
you
not
got
charging
you
you
got
of.
nothing, do you?
I disagree.
Good.
Respectfully
Then give
disagree.
me a substantive response.
Well, clearly there's not going to be anything that's satisfactory to you. You do
John,
realize that,
give
right?
me a substantive defense of your slanderous impugning of me that I'm a racist. I want substance. Okay.
The issue is, Darth, that when I assess certain things, I've been to all 50 states. I've been to various parts of the country. I've seen racism. I've experienced racism growing up in Los Angeles.
John, you're not
I think I
answering my
might listen.
question.
May I finish,
You're
sir?
John, I
May I
don't want
even
to have to
finish?
kick you off the stage. Okay?
Irrespective of
You're
whether you think I'm
wasting
bloviating or not, would you
John,
let me
you're
finish?
filibustering just like the atheists do. I would rather not kick you off the stage. Okay?
I understand. But
I would
you're either
like
going to let me
you.
speak or you're not.
I am letting you speak, but you are filibustering.
Then if I'm filibustering, would you let me finish?
John, no, I won't let you
I
continue
understand you're not letting me
filibustering.
finish.
John, I'm
That's
going to
my
give you
point.
one more opportunity, okay? I would like for you to give me a substantive accounting
I'm
for
trying.
what
I'm
are
trying.
putatively defamatory statements. You're not trying.
My subjective perceptions are based upon a lifetime. I'm 53 years old.
So you
And I
don't
have
have
a
anything
lifetime of
substantive. Is
experiences
that
with
correct, John?
racism, Darth. You may not. I
John,
do.
you have 30 seconds, okay, to
Okay. Are you going to give
start
me 30
giving me a
seconds?
substantive basis for your defamatory remarks.
Right. I understand that you have certain expectations, okay? And any answer I give you so far has not been satisfactory to you, right? But
John,
I certainly have reasons. You're not even going to
John,
give me 30.
what did you hear him actually say with your own ears? You need to repeat what you heard him say, otherwise it's gossip. So it's either the case that you heard it or you listened to the gossipers. So what is it you heard him say? If you didn't hear him say it, you need to say, I didn't hear you say anything, and I don't have a leg to stand on. I'm sorry, I apologize. You move on. If you have something, you need to say it. Now's the time.
You know what he did say, Matt? He said, if one of Darth Dawkins' children or daughters came home with a black man, Darth would say, "Get the F out." That's what he said, Matt.
I'm sure you wouldn't. You know, just as I wouldn't. Who cares? You want Christian people,
I
not
could
colored skin.
give you personal details from my own immediate personal life that would show what a fool you are, but I'm not going to go into my personal life and identify information about relatives, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. Now, I gave you 30 more seconds, okay? Do you want to give me substantive support for your defamatory remarks? No. Goodbye, John. You see, the problem with John, in my opinion, is he so much wants to be liked by the atheist that he spends an inordinate amount of time, what's the word I'm looking for? Carousing with them. Okay. So the recording of this room will be a record that he was given copious amounts of time to provide a substantive basis for his defamatory remarks, and he refused to give any substance. Okay? And that's what we call Darth Dawkins derangement syndrome. There are other Christians who have done this as well. It's not just John Lee. Okay? And they know that there are certain types in Clubhouse and Discord who are just lowlives, and they like fomenting dissent and slander and defamation. And some of these Christians just suck up to them, and it's just disgusting, you know. But I think John Lee today finally, I mean, exposed himself for the fraud that he is. Okay.
Hey, Darth, I
Yeah,
just wanted to ask you a real quick question. Apparently, John Lee, I thought you'd kicked him out of down earlier. He claimed his battery died. Apparently, it must have died. Maybe he wanted to know if you were done with him or not.
He was kicked from the room.
Okay, he sent me a message wanting to know.
I kicked
Yeah,
him.
he thought he said something about wanting to continue this discussion. I told him
there's not going to be any continuation of his obfuscating, dodging, and verbally tap dancing, and not addressing his defamatory remarks. Okay. So we're done. I gave him ample opportunity to give a substantive defense. Okay. And I don't even need to appeal to anyone else. Okay. But we even had Matt Slick, who pointed out that he was given ample opportunity. And John Lee simply acted like a typical defamatory, evasive, prevaricating, deceptive atheist. Okay. So John Lee has no one to blame but himself. Okay.
I told him. Yeah, I messaged him in the back channel, told him that you were done with him, and kind of relayed a little bit of what you said there.
He was given ample warning. Okay. It's not like I lost my temper with him.
Yeah, I thought you gave him plenty of time.
Did you catch that, Tom Rabbit? Hope you upload that to YouTube.